Hello lovely people, my name is Ali Tagavi, and in this video I want to share with you a couple of different solutions to the problem we have as dance teachers when we want to provide live online sessions. And especially I'm going to address the issues around high quality sound and especially the synchronicity between video and sound sources so that your students can have much better experience. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is I was very fortunate to receive some grant money from these associations in Germany under the project called Distanzen, where I proposed to work together with experts in different domains and where we take out knowledge that we need to provide better online dance experiences. Now, I've been doing a lot of work with a sound engineer to come up with these solutions. Let me just start with giving you an overview of what you'll see in this video, and then we take it into the details. Now, first I want to explain the problem in more detail to understand what the struggle is we have. I have prepared a few different solutions, and these solutions depends a lot on your circumstances and your needs and what you already have in terms of equipment and so on, so that maybe you can find a way to solve your problem that is at the right level for you, either as the right level of professionality or budget or the equipment you already have and so on. At the end of this, I will share with you a summary of my setup. Later though, we're gonna make more videos where we explain exactly how you can set it up for yourself, all the way down to we use some software for this as well, that for example Ableton Live, and all of the setups that you can do in Ableton Live. I'm going to provide a download link on our website, swingster.tv. So on this website here, you'll get a download link eventually where you'll be able to download the file and put it into your Ableton Live, and you get exactly the same setup as I have, and you just need to make some tweaks to adapt it to your computer and you'll be able to use it. So there will be more additional videos. Let's get started. First, let me explain the problem we're having. When we're having a Zoom session, we're going through internet, we are trying to provide a video signal, we're doing a music signal, we have our voice, and we need to be able to listen to all of that as well. And there's of course the participant's voice. And some of the challenges we have is, as dancers, we need to be free to move, so there no cords are possible to have. We have a decent camera angle, so we need to make sure the students can see ideally a whole body as we move around the space as well. And the biggest challenge of them all, synchronizing high quality sound and video together. So when you clap on 2, 4, 6, 8, for example, that the sound is happening on the weak beat and not coming on the downbeat, for example. But other problems that we're also facing is because we cannot go cordless, and often we end up using some form of a speaker, and the speaker provides a feedback loop. So that's an additional level of problem that we are facing. And the solution to the problem will be very dependent on what you already have, what equipment you already have, what is your situation. For example, do you need to have it portable, or can you be stationary with it? What space do you have? Are you in a studio where you have a little bit more space, you can put the camera further away to get more of your body, or do you need to be up close because you don't have so much space? Can you borrow things? For example, our first setup when the pandemic hit, we very quickly set up a recording studio and did a ton of videos, but everything with borrowed gear, borrowed a camera, borrowed sound system, borrowed this and that got us going in the beginning of the pandemic. But then over time, we managed to ourselves upgrade our own gear. So I'm gonna actually put also emphasis on things that if you buy them, you will probably also continue using them later in one way or another. One of the starting points though is it's important for you to know how strong your computer or laptop is, because that's going to very much determine which direction you need to go. And the reason for that is the solution, for example, that is for me like the top solution for a home studio and not when you have these professional desks and stuff like that, that's going to put a lot of load on your computer. Your computer is going to do a lot of things, processing the sounds, the images, sending them through Zoom, recording, and everything you're doing. So that's going to be very heavy load for your computer to handle. And if it doesn't, it's going to break everything. You won't be clicking on one mouse, it's going to take 5 minutes. Image will be stuttery, nothing goes through, and so on. So it's not going to work no matter what equipment you buy in addition. If your laptop cannot handle it, then you need to unload your computer with some of the things. So you might need to get gears that helps you do some of the processing outside and then send it in. I'm gonna create a separate video to describe how you can stress test your computer to know if it's gonna work for you, and sort of give you a sense of which direction you can go based on that if you don't already know. Moving on. First, let me give you the very first level of solutions that you can take. This is not about synchronizing your sound and video. This is just about the basic things. You need a lot of light. I usually say when you have uncomfortably amount of brightness in your room, then your camera will start to be happy. When you start feeling like, oh, I'm blinded, then your camera is really happy with you. So uncomfortable amount of light, and unless you really want to get into sort of getting cinematic visuals, then I would say anything you can do to hack your system through to get more light works. We even bought these long LED lamps that you see in offices, but 4 of those blasted our scene with light. And if you go on Swingset TV and watch the videos, you can judge for yourself how much you like it. But a lot of light. And for example, if you're traveling a lot and you need just something small, but you don't always have control of light, maybe something that like this can be useful for you. It's just a powerful floodlight, and it even gives different colors. So even if you wouldn't use it eventually for your final setup or your next setup, it's just nice light decoration. You see there's a little bit of red hue behind me. That's, for example, a red colored lamp there. So you can make a little bit nice effects even later when you have better equipment. One thing a lot of people forget about is how important strong internet connection is. And in terms of forgetting, I don't mean that we forget that the internet is important, but we're so used to doing everything wireless that we don't pay attention to, for example, when we do something like Zoom, a Zoom session, especially if we have more participants, number of participants matter, we're gonna use more of our bandwidth. And if we are not, for example, directly connected to the router through a LAN cable, then we're not actually going to get maximum internet power. So especially if you do Zoom sessions, if you can plug in, if your laptop, for example, doesn't have one of a plug for this, you might need an adapter. You can do a test yourself. This is fast.com. You would go there. This is from Netflix. You can check your download speed and upload speed. Download is basically when you're viewing, because most people use it for YouTube or Netflix or these different channels. Providers are typically making sure you get good download speed, but they usually don't care as much about your upload speed. For when you're providing a service to your customers, you need to care about the upload speed. I would say for a small to medium Zoom session, let's say 5 to 20, 30 participants, if you can manage to get your upload speed between 20 to 40 megabits per second, you should be good. If it's below, you might experience instabilities or your screen freezes. In that case, you might want to choose to ask your participants to turn off their videos, because that's going to matter as well in terms of how much of the bandwidth you're using. You might choose to not go high definition mode on Zoom, for example. One of the video settings you can choose to reduce on the quality that you send through, so it's fluid signals. In terms of sound, a lot of people miss it, but this is just a basic, especially if you're trying to throw sound into Zoom from an external device, you need to make sure Zoom's background noise cancellation is set to as low as possible. So it's basically low, you cannot turn it entirely off. And turn on high fidelity music mode. Then when you're sharing your sound from your computer, you get better quality sound through. But as most people have experienced, with a basic setup, either you need to choose to have your sound coming externally from something like this. Maybe I show this direction, and then the sound quality is just terrible, and it's gonna fight over that and your microphone with your voice over the microphone, and when you spin around or turn around, like it's not good quality, period. But at least it's reasonably synchronized, or well synchronized, actually, I would say. Or you share internal sound, then you get high fidelity sound, so it's very good quality sound, but not synchronized at all. You clap on the weak beat and they hear it on the strong beat or any other time. It's quite random, actually. So let's go into some solutions. The first solution I wanna provide is this. It's a hack, okay? This is not what my sound engineer friend suggested. He didn't like it because, of course, there's any solution where the microphone is picking up sound externally is just not what a sound engineer would accept as a good quality sound. But with this new gear, I like to still propose it, and you have to judge if that's something you want to go through, you want to have. But these microphones with Rode Wireless Go microphones, I have a pair here. They're very small, and this is the previous generation. So the one side has the microphone ending on it. You just plug it here, and the other side you plug into your camera or any sound device that has a 3.5 millimeter jack. Awesome. Decent sound quality. I mean, by decent, I mean in comparison to very professional microphones, is not the same, but it's very good quality microphone. Again, these are the ones we used for our videos on swingset.tv. There are a bunch of free ones there, so go and check if you like the sound and video, then you know if you like these. We connect these to a lapel microphone that makes it a little bit better. But the new generation, they come in one package, come with two microphones. So there are two microphone pieces on one receiver. It can do a lot more than these ones can. So I'm even considering upgrading to one of these just because of all the things it can do. There are plenty of YouTube videos by now for it. But with that system, if you're only one teacher teaching, if it's two teachers, then again, this is not the solution for you. But if you're one teacher, you would wear one microphone on you, the other microphone you place right next to the speaker. The speaker needs to be as low of volume as you can handle, while still being on beat, hearing the structure of the music and everything you need to do a proper dance demonstration. It needs to be so low that the microphone doesn't pick it up and launch into a loop, so to say, because that's gonna pull it up to these high-pitched sounds that we sometimes get. So it's not comfortable as a dancer. It's not comfortable. Again, it's a solution we actually chose for our videos. I keep referring to that, but that's where you can see what the effect is. We had it very low, so sometimes it was an effort to listen to the music and sort of trying to hear where you are on the music. But it works when you don't have professional in-ear microphone, wireless professional in-ear microphones. And then so the receiver end, you connect to the USB-C plug into your computer, and then it works like a microphone. The new generation can do that. The old generation doesn't have this function, so they couldn't do that. Yeah, so this is a hack. That would give you, one of the reasons this is gonna give you better quality sound than what you have now is that the microphone that is on you sits close to your mouth, and so when you're speaking, it picks it up very well. If you turn around, it's with you. And the same thing, the other side of it, the other one is right next to the speaker. So the microphones pick up from the source as close as possible and not from the whole room, so to say. So you get much better sound quality that way. Now, this is the first setup that a sound engineer would also accept. This is me and my friend Paul who helped me figure these out. We're gonna make a video with how to exactly plug everything in, so you'll know about it. But in basic form, this system also does a lot of the work outside of your computer. So if your computer is not powerful enough, then this is the way to go. This is the best solution for you, because any other solution will just slow down your computer to the point where you cannot use it, basically. Here you would need an external device for music. So your phone, you would plug in your phone directly here through a cable, or a tablet, or any means that is not your laptop. You would plug in music on one, you would plug in microphone on one. Depending on number of channels, if you are tube teachers, this is also the solution for you, because then you would plug in another microphone here. This way, for example, your clap sound and the music are perfectly synchronized. So whatever you hear and clap to, that's what's gonna go through to Zoom as well. It does all the processing for you. In the monitoring, that's what you hear back. So you can choose to hear only the music channel back, so you don't need to hear your own clapping and voices and so on coming back to you. The challenge is here again, how do we monitor? In sound terminology, monitor is basically, in this case, I'm talking about what you can hear, not what you can see. What you can hear here is either you plug in a speaker like that. Again, you have to keep the volume then low, so it doesn't get you into a reverb with by picking up the sound again itself through your microphone. But if possible, you might have a solution that is a cheaper solution. Is if you have a Bluetooth headset, for example, you might get a good Bluetooth transmitter and connect your Bluetooth headset to that and plug that into the monitor slot. I'm saying good Bluetooth transmitter because if you have a transmitter that has a lot of delays, then again, you add delay into the system and you will not have synchronized sound again. Other things you can do if you don't have a microphone. So this is the old system, the Rode Wireless Go. That's 175 euros, a little bit cheaper. But there's also these other headsets that are also wireless that you can use. I would recommend something where the source is close to you. But again, if you have a table microphone, then try with that first, and then move forward from there. So if you have one of these, you would just try that first and see if you can get the microphone through cable as close to you as possible, so the sound from the monitor speaker doesn't go back into your microphone. That's what I want to say. All right, now let's talk a little bit about video. I'm calling this the expanse. So I'm gonna actually start in the middle here. In my first setup, when I was doing live sessions, I ended up using our very, very old handheld camcorder, because that one has a mini HDMI port into it. And I got myself a 16 euro video capture card. One of these things here allowed me to connect my camcorder to my laptop as a webcam. And that camera, even though it was super old and I was about to throw it away because I didn't see any use cases for it, it actually provided a better signal. And I tilted it even, so I could get a full body range in a very close distance using that one. Of course, the image was narrow then, not the full width. In Zoom, you can tilt it. So that was a solution I used. So if you have access to one of these, that actually might be a good starting point. But you can actually also use a lot of phones. You can plug these in and you can use your phone as a webcam as well. Or many phones also come with apps, or you can download apps that make them work as a webcam. But ideally, you get a DSLR camera with a wide angle lens. So for example, a 16 millimeter lens can create a pretty nice wide angle. I think we need to make a video separate about that. I'll see if I manage to do that. But then you connect that with a micro HDMI. So there's micro here, there's mini here, so they're different. You need to check on your camera what plug exactly you need. 2 HDMI on the other end. That goes into this thingy goes into your laptop. The problem with these systems is they on their own provide a lot of lag. So for example, the worst one I would imagine is the phone app version that goes through the internet, because not only are you using more bandwidth from your internet that you might need for your Zoom, but you're also creating a lot of delays. And at some point, your delays will be so much that there won't be a natural conversation. So if your live sessions include a lot of conversations, you might need to consider finding a solution that provides less of a lag, because they will say something and it will take some time before you nod or show any expressions of hearing and so on. So it becomes a weird conversation like that. I'm gonna come back to OBS in a moment. If you don't have access to any cameras and you want to take the simplest way out, maybe a better webcam, external webcam can do a job. For example, I was looking at this one, Avon Media Live, have a pretty decent wide angle on it. So you would probably be able to just take 3 steps back from your computer and have your full body on the screen. But the quality of these will never be the same as any of these. But it's the easiest setup, especially if you do a lot of Zoom conversations in general, that could improve your image quality in a very easy way. Now, OBS, if you just Google OBS Studio download, for example, you get to this page. This is a software that would help you synchronize video and sound before you send it into Zoom. That needs its own video, or there's plenty of videos on YouTube for it. But whether or not you choose this one will depend if your laptop can handle Zoom and OBS at the same time. That's gonna make a difference. This is one of the things you will stress test in a separate video. I will help you stress test in a separate video. If you get one of these, even if you cannot fix the delay of video, if you have another kind of camera, that would already still make the image quality at least better. So you can plug this one in and ask Zoom to pick as another camera instead of going through OBS. So that works even with a weak computer. That was my old setup. Okay, now we're coming to the deep dive, the final setup. This is what I'm using. So let's go backwards. We have Zoom. In Zoom, Zoom gets the signal through OBS Studio. That was what I was just talking about. And this one is synchronizing my image source and my sound source through this pathway into here that goes into Zoom. Okay. For image, I'm having a device called the ATEM Mini. This is a really cool device because you can actually even have multiple cameras if you want. And just by pressing these buttons, you can switch on and off to get different cameras, and a lot of other things you can do with it. So it's if you think you're gonna do a lot of streaming, that could be an investment that is worth it to you. And it handles the camera processing really nicely and sends that into Zoom or into OBS and then to Zoom, or directly to Zoom, of course. On the sound side, what's important to know is that I'm using a software called Ableton, where I'm processing all the different sounds. So the microphone sound goes in there, and there I can improve the sound quality even more. The music sound goes in there, and I can even control BPM and stuff like that in there. I can choose to throw in Spotify into it, or iTunes, or any kind of music or video, anything can go in there. So I can control that sound. I can put in the Zoom participant sounds back in here, so I can choose how loud I want to have them in my ear. And also here I'm doing all the tests to see how much I need to delay sound and video in order to make sure they come out perfectly synchronized. Again, we're gonna do a whole separate video from that, and you'll actually get a download link to exactly this setup, so you'll be able to just final tweak it for your own setting. You don't need to make it from scratch. This one costs 79 euros to buy, Ableton Live light version of it. But if you buy one of these, which you would need, then it actually comes included with this software. So you could actually save yourself this by just buying this. What's important here is that you get the 4i4 version. The reason for that is, in order to do all of this magic where you have different sound sources coming together, and you choose what to send where, and what do you want to listen to, what don't you want to. For example, you don't want to listen to your own voice in your head again. And both OBS and for example Zoom, they can't handle these different channeling. Whatever you do outside, they will just mesh it all together. So you actually need something external from your laptop that splits channels. Again, we're gonna make a detailed video on that, so I'm not gonna bore you with all the details here. And then for the sound, I'm using my microphone, I'm using a lapel microphone, and I am also using a high quality audio receiver, music receiver, so I can hear the music nicely as well. And also on a Mac, I have this software called Loopback where I'm rerouting things. So for example, here I can choose to route Spotify into Ableton through the sound card, or the Zoom conversations, or any other routing. It's a super powerful little software that helps you control exactly where your music and sound is going across softwares. So this system is awesome because high quality sound, high quality video, high quality microphone pickup, all of them perfectly synchronized. So my clap sound visually and the sound and everything is exactly how I intended it, or it's exactly how people would have experienced it if they were in the dance class with me. And all of that is going into Zoom. Of course, I'm plugged in through LAN, but this is both that your laptop needs to be able to handle all of this processing, which is a major amount of work, as well as I mean, this is pricey. Thanks to my grant, I could afford to set up a system like this. So yeah, I'm in a very fortunate situation to be able to have this, and not everybody have access to the same thing. But hopefully with this video, I could take away some of the burden of investing in, for example, sitting with a sound engineer we already been sitting for 15 to 17 hours or something like that together on finding these and experimenting with these different solutions. We're going to create those videos. If I can unload your burden as much as possible, I'm very happy to do so. If you need help, if you need my help, I'm available. Either you can email dance@swingstep.com. On Facebook, you can befriend me there. I'm Ali Tagavi Swingstep. On Instagram, we have Swingstep Dance, and on Swingstep TV group free, here you find the download links the moment we have prepared those videos, as well as all the different videos for this project. Many more is coming out. Stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to share it with fellow teachers who you know are doing online sessions or thinking about doing online sessions, and hope this will improve your online experience. Thank you.